July 11, 1943, near Gela, Sicily. The morning heat shimmered off dusty roads as Tiger tanks of Schwer Panzerabteilung 504 advanced toward American positions. Inside these 60-ton steel fortresses, German crews maintained absolute confidence. Their 100mm frontal armor had proven impervious to Allied weapons in Tunisia and Russia. The Americans ahead possessed nothing that could threaten them. Then movement caught a commander's eye, an American soldier emerging from rubble, shouldering what appeared to be a metal pipe. The weapon looked almost primitive, like plumbing equipment. Within minutes, that perception would shatter along with German assumptions about armored invincibility. Rockets began striking the advancing Tigers, immobilizing tracks and finding weak points. The shaped charges burned through armor that had seemed invulnerable. This moment near Gela marked the beginning of fundamental transformation in Wehrmacht armored doctrine. What German tank crews initially dismissed as an insignificant infantry weapon would systematically demolish their confidence, forcing complete reimagination of armored warfare from Sicily to Berlin. The mathematics were elegantly devastating. The Bazooka weighed 13 pounds. A Tiger tank weighed 120,000 pounds. The cost ratio proved even more staggering. One Bazooka cost the United States Army $18 to manufacture. One Tiger tank cost the Reich 250,000 Reichsmarks. Yet that $18 tube could transform 250,000 Reichsmarks of precision engineering into burning wreckage. The weapon's origins traced to improvisation at Aberdeen Proving Ground in early 1942. Captain Edward Uhl had been tasked with creating a delivery system for the M10-shaped charge grenade, a powerful anti-tank weapon too heavy to throw effectively. Walking past a scrap pile, he spotted a tube matching the grenade's diameter. Within hours, he had fashioned a crude launcher with shoulder rest and trigger mechanism. For sights, he bent a wire coat hanger. At the May 1942 demonstration, this improvised weapon faced 5 different spigot mortars, all considered more promising. The mortars fired repeatedly. None hit the moving tank target. Then Uhl shouldered his tube launcher with its coat hanger sights. Direct hit. He fired again. Another hit. Major General Gladion M. Barnes immediately ordered 5,000 units, exclaiming the weapon resembled Bob Burns's bazooka, a novelty musical instrument. The name stuck, but nothing was amusing about what it represented. For the first time in history, a single infantryman could destroy a tank. The shaped charge principle, using the Monroe effect, focused explosive energy into a superheated jet penetrating armor like a cutting torch. 8 ounces of pentolite explosive could burn through 5 inches of steel. General Electric received the first production contract, completing 5,000 weapons for the North African campaign. But Operation Torch proved disappointing. General Eisenhower discovered on invasion eve that troops lacked training. The M6 rockets proved unreliable in desert conditions. Many failed to detonate. Others stuck in tubes and exploded, killing operators. These failures provided German intelligence with captured samples, but led to rapid American improvements. The M1A1 variant addressed reliability issues with better rockets and improved electrical systems. By Sicily's invasion, American forces possessed a weapon that would fundamentally alter battlefield dynamics. German military analysis of captured bazookas occurred in February 1943. Engineers immediately recognized both threat and opportunity. Within months, they developed the Panzerschreck, scaling the bazooka's 60mm warhead to 88mm. But this revealed critical German weakness. While they could engineer superior individual weapons, they lacked America's production capacity. Germany would produce thousands of Panzerschrecks. America would produce hundreds of thousands of bazookas. Sicily's invasion in July 1943 provided the bazooka's first major test against German heavy armor. The Hermann Göring Division and elements of Schwerer Panzerabteilung 504, with 17 Tigers total on the island, attacked American positions around Gela, confident in armored superiority. What followed shocked German crews. After-action reports revealed their dismay. German commanders reported that American infantry initially fled, drawing tanks into Gela's narrow streets. Then rockets fired from windows, doorways, and rubble. They came from positions invisible until rockets were already flying. Multiple Tigers were disabled within minutes. American soldiers discovered that while bazookas might not always penetrate Tiger frontal armor, they could destroy tracks, damage vision devices, and find weak points. Even non-penetrating hits had effect. Crews could hear explosions, feel vibrations, smell burning metal. They knew the next rocket might find vulnerability. The weapon's true power lay in ubiquity. By summer 1943, American rifle companies carried multiple bazookas. Marine divisions were authorized 172 bazookas each. Every infantry squad potentially possessed tank-killing capability. German tankers, trained as predators, became prey. The impact manifested immediately. German tanks that had charged aggressively in North Africa now advanced cautiously, constantly scanning for bazooka teams. Urban combat became suicide without massive infantry support. Night operations, once a German specialty, became impossibly dangerous. Germans began welding spare track links and sheet metal to tanks as improvised armor. These Scherzen were designed to detonate shaped charges prematurely. While sometimes effective, they made tanks heavier, slower, and mechanically unreliable. More significantly, German tactics fundamentally changed. Blitzkrieg's freewheeling advances became impossible. Tanks required constant infantry screens, reducing speed to walking pace. German mechanized warfare's essence, speed and independent operation, was negated. Statistics revealed the transformation. In France, 1940, German tanks achieved 10-to-1 kill ratios against Allied armor. By late 1943 in Italy, German tanks facing bazooka-equipped Americans approached 1-to-1 losses. The Wehrmacht's primary advantage had evaporated. The bazooka struck at Nazi ideology's core. The regime promoted technological sophistication as Aryan superiority's evidence. Complex Tigers and Panthers supposedly demonstrated German genius, but American pragmatism, mass-producing simple, effective weapons, proved superior to German perfectionism. Training programs ensured effectiveness. Unlike German anti-tank weapons requiring extensive training, soldiers learned basic bazooka operation in hours. The weapon's simplicity meant cooks, clerks, and supply personnel could become tank killers. This universality transformed battlefield dynamics. Combat experience refined tactics rapidly. Bazooka teams learned paired operations, one targeting tracks for immobilization, another seeking weak points. White phosphorus rockets, while not armor-piercing, could blind crews and force abandonment. Teams used terrain effectively, waiting until tanks passed before firing into vulnerable rear armor. The Italian campaign demonstrated evolution from emergency weapon to tactical cornerstone. In mountainous terrain around Cassino, bazooka teams operated as snipers, sometimes waiting days for perfect shots. They learned exhaust grills were vulnerable, turret rings could be targeted, even Tigers had weak spots where armor plates joined. Field Marshal Kesselring acknowledged the crisis in December 1943, reporting that American rocket launchers had imposed unacceptable losses, requiring fundamental reconsideration of combined arms warfare. The weapon had given American infantry formidable confidence. Training manuals showed the transformation starkly. The 1940 Wehrmacht Panzer Manual devoted one paragraph to infantry anti-tank weapons. The 1944 revision devoted an entire chapter to countering rocket launchers. French conquest tactics were obsolete. Production statistics underscored German futility. While the Reich struggled producing 100 Tigers monthly, American factories produced thousands of bazookas. By war's end, nearly 500,000 bazookas existed. America could lose 50 bazookas per German tank destroyed and maintain advantage. The weapon influenced strategic planning beyond tactics. German offensives avoided urban areas where bazookas excelled. Supply lines required heavier protection. Tank crews demanded more infantry support. Every adaptation consumed resources Germany couldn't afford. Knowing captured bazookas could transform resistance movements, Germans obsessively tracked every captured weapon. One bazooka could elevate partisans from nuisance to serious threat. French resistance, Italian partisans, and Yugoslav guerrillas desperately sought bazookas as the ultimate anti-armor tool. American innovation accelerated continuously. The M9 bazooka, introduced late 1943, featured improved sights and disassembly for transport. The M6A3 rocket had rounded nose-preventing deflection, White phosphorus and smoke rockets expanded options, each improvement built on combat experience. The bazooka influenced tank design profoundly. German vehicles grew progressively heavier as designers added armor against shaped charges. The Panther, conceived as 35 tons, grew to 45. The King Tiger reached 70 tons, collapsing bridges and proving nearly irrecoverable when disabled. German tanks became impractical monsters. Meanwhile, American doctrine maximized effectiveness. Infantry and tanks coordinated tactics, with Shermans drawing German armor into kill zones where bazooka teams waited. Artillery suppressed German infantry, allowing bazooka teams to approach tanks. The weapon transformed American soldiers from victims to hunters. Veterans recalled the shift vividly. Before bazookas, German tanks caused panic. After Sicily, when squads possessed bazookas, American infantry anticipated engaging enemy armor. They knew they could kill tanks. That confidence fundamentally changed dynamics. German prisoners revealed deep demoralization. Tank crews spoke constantly about bazookas being everywhere with no defense. These Wehrmacht elite, Poland and France's conquerors, were now frightened men, understanding their mighty tanks were simply targets. The Winter Line battles demonstrated complete reversal. German tanks, once apex predators, moved tentatively. American infantry advanced aggressively, knowing they possessed tools defeating any counterattack. Psychological momentum had shifted decisively. By early 1944, German tank tactics bore no resemblance to terrorizing blitzkrieg. Tanks moved in tight formations with extensive screens. Urban areas were avoided entirely. Night operations ceased. The bazooka imposed constraints negating every early advantage. Captured German officers' testimony revealed complete transformation. Trained in armored warfare's superiority, told Tigers were invincible. They found American bazookas everywhere. Tank crews went from hunters to hunted, with crushing psychological burden. American production accelerated relentlessly. Variants appeared constantly, incorporating lessons learned. Training ensured every replacement new operation. The weapon became as fundamental as rifles. German production remained limited by resources and capacity. The bazooka inspired further innovation. If portable rockets could destroy tanks, what else was possible? Development began on recoilless rifles and eventually guided missiles. The bazooka opened new warfare possibilities where technology and mass production trumped individual valor. German theorists acknowledged uncomfortable realities. The Wehrmacht, which revolutionized warfare, was being defeated by industrial democracy. The bazooka embodied this, a mass-produced weapon negating years of tactical development. As spring 1944 approached, Germans prepared for France's invasion, knowing thousands of bazookas would accompany assault forces. Every hedgerow became a potential position. Every village became potential killing ground. Rommel ordered specific obstacles, channeling Allied forces from favorable bazooka positions. The weapon achieved something remarkable: psychological defeat before 1944's climactic battles began. Tank crews who had charged confidently now advanced hesitantly, watching for smoke trails. The mental battle was already lost. The transformation was complete. In 2 years, the bazooka evolved from experiment to tactical cornerstone. More importantly, it shattered German superiority. Wehrmacht panzer forces, seemingly invincible conquerors, approached combat with fear. Analysis revealed totality. In 1940, German tanks survived months or years. By 1944, facing bazooka-equipped Americans, survival measured days or weeks. Destruction's mathematics had turned against Germany. The bazooka represented more than innovation. It embodied industrial democracy answering military tradition. Where Germany produced small numbers of superb tanks requiring experts, America mass-produced weapons any citizen soldier could operate. Tank crews treating combat stress revealed the toll. Constant anxiety, sleep disturbances, hypervigilance. They saw bazooka teams everywhere. Many requested transfers. The Panzer Force's psychological foundation crumbled. The weapon accomplished what Soviet armies, British determination, and American air power struggled achieving, breaking German armored forces' spirit. It proved technological superiority meant nothing against mass-produced counters. Industrial capacity trumped tactical genius. As 1944 progressed toward Normandy, German crews prepared knowing they faced thousands of infantry with rocket launchers. Every crossroads, village, hedgerow might conceal death. Many showed stress symptoms before combat. The final irony: Germany's response, building heavier tanks, worsened their situation. Super-heavy tanks were mechanical disasters consuming enormous resources. Meanwhile, America produced reliable bazookas by thousands. The bazooka proved pragmatism defeated perfectionism. Mass production overcame craftsmanship. Citizen soldiers triumphed over professionals. It embodied every American advantage: industrial capacity, adaptability, and democratic military power distribution. By June 1944, approaching D-Day, transformation was absolute. German tank crews spoke of survival, not glory. They knew hundreds of thousands of Americans waited across the Channel, many armed with the tube haunting their nightmares since Sicily. The Wehrmacht, Europe's conqueror through revolutionary armored warfare, feared American infantry more than opposing tanks. The bazooka inverted combat logic. Weak became strong, simple defeated complex. This was true victory, destroying not just armor but confidence. The weapon proved industrial democracy would triumph over military aristocracy. Every private with a bazooka possessed more real power than a Tiger commander. That truth marked the beginning of Nazi Germany's end. German tankers who terrorized Europe learned terror's bi-directional flow. The rocket launcher's distinctive sound became their nightmare's soundtrack. The dismissed primitive weapon became nemesis. In that transformation lay how American industrial might defeated German military tradition. Heinz Guderian, German armored warfare's father, admitted American mass production created situations where enemy infantry units possessed more anti-tank capability than 1940 German combined arms. This quantitative superiority fundamentally altered mechanized warfare. The bazooka democratized military power. Unlike complex weapons, any soldier learned basic operation quickly. Every soldier was potentially a tank killer. German crews never knew which infantryman might produce a bazooka. The weapon's versatility expanded impact. Soldiers discovered bazookas cleared buildings, bunkers, even engaged aircraft. Units competed acquiring extras. The weapon symbolized American adaptability. Contrast with German weapons was stark. The Panzerfaust, single-shot, disposable, limited range. The Panzerschreck, heavy, cumbersome, massive backblast revealing positions. The bazooka balanced portability, firepower, sustainability perfectly. By late 1944, the bazooka evolved beyond anti-tank roles into universal problem-solving. Machine gun nest, bazooka, sniper, bazooka, roadblock, bazooka. Reliability and effectiveness made it first choice. Impact extended beyond tank crews. Infantry feared its use against fortifications. Artillery crews knew bazookas destroyed guns. Headquarters worried about raiders. Universal vulnerability existed. Training materials showed American confidence. Soldiers learned aggressive tank hunting using terrain and teamwork. Emphasis on offense, taking fight to armor. Complete reversal from early defensive doctrine. German countermeasures proved futile. Distance maintenance was impractical in confined terrain. Infantry escorts slowed operations. Town prohibitions paralyzed mobility. Every countermeasure degraded effectiveness. The bazooka's success influenced post-war development globally. Every military recognized infantry needed organic anti-tank capability. The principle, portable weapons defeating heavy armor, remains fundamental. Modern guided missiles descend directly from bazookas. Production records reveal industrial impact. Factories without military experience successfully manufactured components. Simplicity allowed distributed production. This demonstrated American industrial depth. The human dimension appeared in countless accounts. Young Americans, never imagining fighting tanks, became hunters. Farm boys, factory workers, students, all became tank killers with minimal training. Military heroism democratized. German memoirs consistently cite the bazooka as transformative. Commanders feeling invincible in Poland described constant fear in Italy. Knowledge that any soldier might carry tank-killing weapons created perpetual anxiety. Pacific effectiveness, while less celebrated, proved even more decisive. Japanese tanks with thinner armor were helpless. Marines destroyed tanks, bunkers, caves with devastating efficiency. By war's end, the bazooka proved technological superiority alone couldn't guarantee success. Mass production, distribution, and training could overcome qualitative advantages. This influenced military planning for decades. American and German approaches revealed philosophical differences. Germany sought perfect technical solutions, superior but complex weapons in limited numbers. America sought practical solutions, adequate weapons in overwhelming quantities. The battlefield favored America decisively. German panzer veterans consistently identified the bazooka as most changing combat experience, not Allied tanks, artillery, or air power, but the infantry's rocket launcher. This assessment from experienced crews validates transformative impact. The legacy extended beyond military applications. The bazooka proved American industry could rapidly develop, mass-produce, and deploy innovation. This capability established military-industrial dominance persisting through the Cold War. Looking back, the bazooka encapsulates American World War II strengths: practical innovation, mass production, democratic distribution, effective training combined creating battlefield advantage. Industrial democracy defeated military tradition. Quantity overcame quality when properly applied. German tankers facing bazookas learned harsh truths. Their magnificent Tigers and Panthers, engineering masterpieces, were vulnerable to $18 tubes carried by teenagers. Tactical superiority developed over years was negated by simple rockets. Psychological edge from early victories crumbled before weapons, making every infantryman dangerous. The bazooka transformed warfare's fundamental dynamics. Tanks restoring mobility to World War I's deadlocked battlefields now faced infantry weapons, destroying them at close range. An arms race between armor and anti-armor began that continues today. In final analysis, the bazooka succeeded through practical effectiveness multiplied by mass production. Quintessentially American, simple, reliable, devastatingly effective when employed properly. In industrial warfare, the nation arming every soldier with effective weapons would prevail over the nation arming few with perfect ones. German tank crews entering World War II as masters of new warfare discovered they were targets for mass-produced American weapons. The bazooka demolished not just tanks, but entire conceptions of armored superiority. In that demolition lay keys to Allied victory. The humble tube ool improvised from scrap changed history. It gave American infantry power, destroying enemy armor, transformed tactics, shattered German superiority. The bazooka proved practical innovation and industrial capacity, defeated tradition and technical perfection. As World War II ended, lessons were clear. Future conflicts required weapons that could be mass-produced, easily operated, widely distributed. Complex systems had their place, but wars would be won by nations arming soldiers with simple, effective weapons in overwhelming numbers. German tankers surviving the war carried memories of the weapon, transforming them from predators to prey. The bazooka rocket's sound remained etched as the sound-ending German armored supremacy. The simple American tube defeated the complex German tank, and in that defeat lay how industrial democracy triumphed over military aristocracy in history's greatest conflict.